The Sony Xperia 1 Mark 6 is official, but it may not be right for you. And if you've already got the Sony Xperia 1 Mark 5, then maybe it's worth hanging on to. And if you were considering the Xperia 1 Mark 6 and you don't like what you see, the Xperia 1 Mark 5 is still a great option. And I want to talk about that in this video because the newest and the best and the brightest may not always be the best and the right one for you. And I think the Xperia 1 Mark 5 still has a lot of legs left in it. So before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now let's talk about the Xperia 1 Mark 5. When the Xperia 1 Mark 5 came out last year, I fell in love with this phone. It was all the things that I needed upgraded from the Xperia 1 Mark 4. It fixed the battery issues, it fixed the overheating issues, it fixed the camera issues. There was a lot of stuff that they jam-packed into this phone that made a lot of sense, and I was happy that they responded to that, especially the criticism. So that was great. Interstage right, the Xperia 1 Mark 6. I think it's the most upgraded phone in the last year or two, and they've done so many nice things. We have the new telephoto camera that does all the way up to 170 millimeter, which is 7.1 times zoom. You've still got the same primary and ultra-wide camera, but on the disappointing side, it has a full HD 1080p screen, which is a far cry from the 4K screen in the Xperia 1 Mark 5. And it no longer has the 21:9 aspect ratio that gives you this nice thin cinematic aspect ratio, which is great for watching movies, playing games, things like that when you're consuming 4K content. Well, now it's a 19:5:9, which is basically about the same as the S24 Ultra and a lot of other popular phones. So it's a little bit wider, a little bit shorter, and it lost the 4K screen. So that's kind of sucky. Now, they did give 3 years of operating system updates and 4 years of security patches. I wish they would backwards extend that to the Xperia 1 Mark 5, because if I have some legitimate criticism for the Xperia 1 Mark 5, it's that this phone costs still like $1,198 unless you can find a good deal on it, and it has 2 operating system updates and 3 years of security patches, and we've already got 1 operating system update. So when we get Android 15, that's it. No Android 16, no Android 17, and I think that's a little insulting and kind of ridiculous in a phone that costs so stinking much money. So what we know about the Xperia 1 Mark 6, it's going to be £1,399 or £1,299, or is it 13? Anyway, it's expensive, and you can't get it in the US, and if you want to try and import it to the US, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So there's that. Like, we don't have the USA availability anymore. You can't order it on Best Buy, you can't order it on Amazon right now. And if you try and get it on like eBay or a third party, you're going to pay a lot of money. And there are things that are nice about it. It has new speakers, it has new battery. The battery life is still 5,000 milliamps, but it's a new battery, more dense technology that's supposed to give 2 days of battery life is what they're claiming. And then they've got the new telephoto. You've also got the telephoto macro, which I'm really excited about, and I can't wait till I get my hands on one. But if you don't care about macro photos and you're perfectly happy with the zoom, the continuous zoom that the Xperia 1 Mark 5 already has, well, maybe you don't need to spend the money. If you've already got an Xperia 1 Mark 5, you might not want to go ahead and upgrade, because some of it is an upgrade and some of it is kind of a little bit of downgrade, especially if you care about the screen, if you care about the traditional aspect ratio. I mean, it still the new one still has the shutter button. It still has the same Gorilla Glass on the back with the textured grip. It still has the SD card support. You still have the headphone jack. And then they made the slight improvement to the camera stuff, a little bit extra software support update. But by and large, I don't think that the Xperia 1 Mark 6 with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3 is going to be insanely improved over the Xperia 1 Mark 5 with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. Now, there is one thing, and I'm crossing my fingers hoping it comes to the Xperia 1 Mark 5, is the consolidation of the apps. Because currently, we have a camera app, we have a pro video app, we have a other video app. There's 3 apps that really should be 1 app. And on the new phone, it's going to be 1 app. I hope they bring that to the Xperia 1 Mark 5 because it makes sense. And also, since it's the same primary camera, if we can get that app and we can get that upgraded camera software, then it's going to make the primary camera on here just as good as the one on the Xperia 1 Mark 6, and it should hopefully incorporate some of that AI stuff. Since it's mostly computer stuff, I don't know if we're going to get it. I really hope we are, but if not, that will be a little bit of a letdown, because I'm really excited to see what Sony Alpha combined with the new app, combined with working with the new stuff is going to actually pull off. So it could be really cool. I got to figure out how I'm going to get mine. I'm probably going to have to buy it with my own money. I don't have a contact with Sony Japan, and my Sony America contact is like, we're not getting it, so we can't give you one. So it might be a couple of weeks before I can get my hands on one, because I'm not paying the astronomical amount of money and letting them bend me over a barrel so I can pay out the rear to get this thing. So I will get it as time and money and availability permits in a reasonable manner. So you might have to look to some other stuff for initial content on it. But yeah, if you've got the Xperia 1 Mark V, you may be perfectly happy with it. And I've seen a lot of people in the comments who are like, I am not going from a 4K screen to a full HD screen, even if there are extra benefits other places, like the new stereo speakers, which look like they're going to sound pretty good, and some of the other stuff going on for it. So yeah, I think that it probably is the most upgraded phone that I've seen in the last year. Plus, you've got the new OLED panel. It throttles all the way down to 1 hertz, goes up to 120 hertz, twice as bright as the Xperia 1 Mark V. So those things are nice, but if you're perfectly happy with the Xperia 1 Mark V, don't buy it. And then if you are looking to get an Xperia 1 Mark VI and you think, okay, well, the stuff on the Mark V is already good, let me try and get a good deal, I don't think you can go wrong there either. Again, the big hesitation I have at this point is it has one more operating system update and 2 more years of security patches. So if you're going to be spending $1,200, you might want to look elsewhere. I do like the Xperia 1 Mark V, but it's hard to justify that when you could go buy a S24 Ultra right now for $1,049. $1,049, 7 years of support, $1,198, unless you can find it cheaper, and basically 2 years of support. So the S24 Ultra has a lot of great things going on for it. Of course, it's got the S Pen, the titanium built into it, 2600 nits brightness, 5000 milliamp battery, 200 megapixel camera, a lot of good things going for it. So there are really good alternatives out there that make it difficult, especially if you were considering getting an Xperia 1 Mark VI or looking at something else, especially with the availability here in the United States. S24 Ultra, great alternative. And it has a lot of great things going for it. And if you get one right now with the Discover Samsung stuff going on, which I've got links in the description, you can get that, and you can get up to $750 off for trade-in, maximum value. And they're giving a free storage upgrade to 512 as well. But no headphone jack, you don't get a shutter button, you don't get an SD card slot, you don't get 4K. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you don't get there. So, but it is a very, very good alternative. So I just wanted to put that out there because there's no Xperia 1 Mark VI here in the United States. And that really hurts. Like, I really hate that they're pulling out of the US market. I hope it's only for this model. Hopefully they'll see the error of their ways, and when the next one comes out, or if we get a Pro i2, I really like to see it here in the States. But for right now, yeah, the Xperia 1 Mark V is a good alternative. It's got a lot of great things going for it, and you could find yourself enjoying the phone if you don't want to get the Xperia 1 Mark VI, you don't want to worry about importing it, or if you want to wait until later. But again, there's other alternatives as well. But I want to talk about it because some people have been like, you know what, I'm not happy about the downgrade in the screen resolution. I'm not happy about changing the aspect ratio. I'm all in on the Xperia 1 Mark V and the previous design with that thin aspect ratio and the 4K screen. I get it. I prefer this. I love this form factor. It's great for one-handed use. It's great for content consumption. Like, I love the Xperia 1 Mark V, and I think it's a tremendously excellent phone. So that's my thoughts on it. I just wanted to kind of talk about that because some people have asked me, hey, should I just get the Xperia 1 Mark V and skip on the 6? And you very well can. But I do want to make you aware that there are other alternatives out there that offer some other things that the phone doesn't, especially if you were thinking about getting the 6, and maybe you might want to hop onto something else. But yeah, the Xperia 1 Mark V, still an option, still available at Best Buy, still available Amazon, and some other places where you can try and get it cheaper, especially if you go on like eBay and things like that. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.